We're sitting here today with Rabbi Richard Address, who's one of our congregational consultant specialists at the Union for Reform Judaism, who's going to talk to us about special needs and disabilities in congregational life, specifically for Jewish Disabilities Awareness Month. Could you tell me a little bit about Caring Community? What is it?
Caring Community is a program that really started for the Union in the early 80s when I was a regional director. Excuse me. And regional directors were asked to take on some additional responsibilities. So Caring Community was one of the three things that came to me. It's really a program of inreach as opposed to outreach. And it started with two congregations, one in Kensington, Maryland, and one in Miami, Florida. Started with really training people to go and do hospital visits to support clergy. It's morphed into, over the last several decades, of not only visitation programs in hospitals and homes, but death and bereavement support, Shiva support, educational programming, health and wellness work. It's really every manifestation of a prayer, the Eila Devarim She'ein Lahem Shiur prayer that people pray in the morning service, of these are the things that you're required to do, whose reward is without merit, that you eventually get your reward. And it's visiting the sick, consoling the bereaved, rejoicing with the bride and groom, welcoming the stranger, and the tagline is, "In the study of Torah is above, leads to them all." So that's really an encapsulated vision of what Caring Community is. And in the last decades or so, my God, there must be hundreds and hundreds of congregations now that have some sort of functioning Caring Community program, and I spend a lot of time consulting with them, doing training, setting them up, and really fashioning the program to the individual culture of the congregation. That's important because it's very congregationally cultural specific.
Can you tell us a little bit about Caring Community's approach to dealing with those with disabilities and special needs?
The Disabilities Awareness Project that we started about, I'd say three, maybe 4 years ago, really was an outgrowth of Caring Community. Everything that we've done is really under the rubric or based upon a foundation of Caring Community. So the Disabilities Awareness Project really emerged out of concerns from colleagues, rabbis, educators, cantors, as well as a very large and growing population of parents and family members who are dealing with various types of disabilities. Physical disabilities, mental disabilities, the Mental Health Project, which preceded the Disabilities Awareness Project. The goal of all of this was to get the conversation started in congregations. That's the first thing, to reduce the sense of stigma or isolation or otherness, to develop networks of programs and resources, which we've done, many of which is on the URJ website, and to make available cadres of individuals, real experts in the field, which we've done. Shelley Christensen from Minneapolis, who co-chaired the development of this project, has been extremely active. She just did some work for us at the World Union Convention on a more global perspective. She consults with congregations all across the United States and Canada. And we have individuals like Becca Hornstein and Lisa Friedman and Debbie Geddes and others who are all over North America who we've referred to congregations. And then Lynn Landsberg, who is our senior advisor, Rabbi Lynn Landsberg out of the Religious Action Center, who was the senior advisor for disabilities for the movement, then has taken all this and created for the CCAR a very strong and active rabbinic committee that just is dealing with this. And then a third component of what has developed in the last 3 years is the emphasis, or attempted emphasis, for camps to raise the level of special needs programming in URJ camps. And Lisa David has been very active in developing that. So it's really has evolved about a 3 or 4 level congregation, camps, CCR, the rabbinate, with resources, program resources, and human resources.
Great. You mentioned the rabbinate. And I know you talked a little bit about this before, but what does Jewish tradition teach us about dealing with those who have special needs?
Well, this concept of special needs is so broad now that I've learned. The nice thing about creating these programs is I really learned a tremendous amount from the people who've put these programs together. All these programs that we put together are very lay-driven, lay-intensive. And we've used the experts in the field, no matter what we've done. So the whole concept of, quote, special needs is so vast, from mental health issues to learning disabilities to everything, and even a special vocabulary that really we've learned as well. Tradition, from Leviticus 19 about not putting a stumbling block, the whole idea of not treating people as the other, as the outsider, as really a ger, someone who's a stranger in their own congregation. So the tradition is quite rich with an understanding that no one, no matter who they are, no matter what position in life they may be, no matter what age they may be, whether we're talking about a child with learning disabilities or a young person on the spectrum of Asperger's or an older adult who may be dealing with various types of, quote, disabilities. No matter where they are, who they are, they're all part of God's plan and welcome within a congregation, that no one should ever be allowed to be standing outside of a congregational community.
And what ways have you seen that congregations have successfully been able to welcome people in?
Oh, there's a whole variety of different, let's just off the top of my head, a couple of things in scattershot form. When we did the mental health project, Refuah HaNefesh, it opened the door to many of our colleagues actually getting on the bima and preaching about issues of mental health concerns, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, issues about those types of concerns, which then gave permission for people to begin to talk about it and seek counsel. It also led to a growing number of congregations who program on a regular basis programs, services, seminars, workshops, conferences on mental Judaism and mental health. They're increasing in their numbers. That led to Rabbi Mensher, our former associate director of Jewish Family Concerns, creating the Resilience of the Soul project. Every one of these projects has a program manual we created. It's available through URJ Press. The Resilience of the Soul project, which really dealt with self-destructive behaviors within teens, young people, and the relationship that they have with their parents. So suicide, cutting, peer pressure, cyberbullying, that has been created. Increasing numbers of congregations have created very, very good, what we were calling inclusion committees. This came from, it's off the top of my head again, Temple Sinai in Oakland. Neil Jacobson chaired this, and still perhaps chairs it in Oakland. Inclusion committees, which really set about the idea of, we're going to take a look at our space, our congregation, and see how accessible it is. How people with wheelchairs, walkers, their own special needs, where they can fit into the congregation. This is beyond infrared hearing loops. It's really everything from placing mezuzot, if you're in a wheelchair, here, down here, so somebody can access the wheelchair, to bathrooms, to ramps, to retrofitting congregations, accessibility issues with that, lighting, prayer books, fonts in publications, plus in the educational program and lifelong learning has material as well as produced for religious education, religious schools and special needs learning. So it's really morphed into everything. And these inclusion committees or special education committees, they go by a variety of different names in different congregations, but their task is basically the same thing. How are we going to bring this concept of inclusion or acceptance or normalcy, whatever the appropriate word is, into the level of our congregation?
We're very sad that you're going to be leaving the URJ soon. Can you tell us, well, one, where are you going, and what would you like your legacy here to be?
Oh my God.
Big questions.
Yeah.
Been preparing for that.
No, you didn't. I'm going to be the rabbi of Congregational Makor Shalom in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, down where I live. It's a congregation I know somewhat from when I was their regional director. As far as a legacy is concerned, wow, that's a tough question. I've never thought about a legacy. I would hope that the work that we created out of the old Jewish Family Concerns Department, which I'm quite proud of, because it was really the only type of work in any of the denominations across the country that did this stuff. And I guess the legacy would be that the work would continue and continue to expand, because it's very private work. It's dealing with people on a very, very local, very personal level, making a decision about a loved one, dealing with how a congregation responds to mental health issues, the bioethics stuff, all the GLBT stuff, the Kulanu that we produce for this community and inclusion in congregations. We're very proud of this. The body image, the eating disorders program with Tapayek Tikva that we created. Still the only Jewish text-based program that I'm aware of in denominations. I would hope that would continue. I would be very sad to see it just put on a shelf and downsized and made something like, oh, we used to do that and there's a book somewhere. That would be a shame, because to tell you the truth, there are people in our congregations who are living this and who benefit from an idea that a congregation can be open and responsive to them, and that their Jewish tradition has something to say to them about what they're living.
Great, thank you.